Friends, before we dive into today's terrifying story, let me share something interesting with you. Almost 80% of the people who watch our videos enjoy them, but haven't subscribed yet. So, if you're one of those 80%, it'll just take a second. Hit that subscribe button below. Playtime Chapter 2 has finally arrived, and it's far more terrifying than anyone expected. This chapter rips open the truth behind Playtime Company, peeling back layers of secrets, experiments, and betrayals we've only theorized about for months. Our protagonist, still shaken from surviving Huggy Wuggy, teams up with the newly freed Poppy in hopes of escaping the factory. But what awaits them is far worse than any monster they've encountered before, because something inside these walls is alive, and it's hunting. Our protagonist awakens exactly where Chapter 1 ended, inside Poppy's room. Her glass case stands wide open, but Poppy is nowhere to be found. A whisper echoes through the room, soft, distant, almost childlike, guiding him forward. This time, escape seems possible, or so he believes. He enters a long, branching corridor. The middle door reads, Elliot Ludwig, founder, but it's locked. Forced to explore the other paths, the protagonist stumbles upon fresh blood smears across the walls. Something or someone was dragged recently. Every step feels watched. The factory isn't abandoned. It's hunting. Huggy Wuggy's darker truth down the right hallway, he finds a strange board featuring Huggy Wuggy. Pressing the button plays several cheerful recordings until the final message glitches. A distorted voice growls, "I'll squeeze you until you turn red." The speaker cuts. The smile on the board seems wrong. It's a reminder of what Huggy truly became, experiment gone homicidal, twisted by pain and rage. Nearby, a key shaped like Poppy's head lies waiting. Elliot Ludwig's office. The first nightmare unlocking Ludwig's office reveals walls covered in children's drawings, innocent but unnervingly off. Some depict smiling toys. Others don't. On the desk, a videotape. And a note. The note describes Experiment 814, a rat that was intentionally killed, soaked in a mixture containing poppy flower, and tested for reanimation. The final line chills the blood. Results may be more promising on larger subjects, meaning toys like Poppy and Huggy weren't built. They were reborn. The VHS tape plays a corporate documentary about Ludwig's life, revealing he lost a family member in the 60s, driving him into a spiral of obsession with resurrection. He didn't want to build toys. He wanted to bring someone back from the dead, at any cost. Poppy's warning and the first abduction inside a vent system. Poppy finally appears, nervous, rushed. She begs the protagonist to restore power so they can escape together using the train. Just as she's about to reveal something important, a long, pink limb slithers from the darkness.
Listen,
a hand, a mother's hand. Poppy is yanked into the abyss. Her muffled screams echo through the vents. The game station, Mommy Longlegs waits. The protagonist follows the tunnels and slides into a massive chamber labeled with names. Elliot Ludwig, Stella Greybear, Leith Pierre, Eddie MNR. These weren't toy sections. They were test sites. At the game station, Mommy Longlegs finally reveals herself, towering, elastic, smiling too wide. Poppy is bound by sticky webbing at her feet. Mommy's voice crackles through the room. If you want to escape, you'll play my games. Her tone flips between sweet motherly warmth and pure sadistic delight. The games begin. Game 1, musical memory inside the molding room. The protagonist discovers a new tape explaining how to craft a green grab pack hand capable of storing electricity. He molds it, barely. Then he enters a chamber filled with hanging televisions, and something crawling above in the shadows. Bunzo Bunny. His cymbals clatter with hunger. The worst part? Mommy watches from the ceiling, smiling. When the player fails, Bunzo descends closer and closer, ready to crush him. But after a tense sequence of memory puzzles, he survives. Mommy stretches her arm across the room to hand him part of the train code. Her voice trembles with disappointment. She wanted him to lose. Game 2, Wacka Wuggy. The second game takes place in a massive underground arena filled with dark holes. Dozens of Wuggies lurk inside, red, yellow, blue, breathing softly, waiting to strike. Mommy explains, they used to have strings, you know, so they couldn't attack the children. But now, the strings are gone. In the choking darkness, glowing eyes burst from the holes. The player barely escapes, slamming the Wuggies back with the grab pack. Mommy's reaction? Oh, you survived. How disappointing. There's blood on the walls behind her. Fresh. Kissy Missy, the strange ally exploring deeper. The protagonist encounters Kissy Missy, not attacking, but freeing a blocked path for him. She looks sorrowful, resentful, almost human. Before he can get close, she disappears. Game 3. Statues with PJ Pugapillar, a giant caterpillar dog hybrid awaits in a twisted obstacle course. The rules are simple. Move when the music plays. Freeze when it stops. But PJ moves silently and fast. Before the game begins, Mommy reveals her bitterness. The children she loved, the orphans raised by the company, were taken away, adopted, or experimented on. She calls the protagonist a former employee, someone who deserves punishment. Something in her voice suggests she remembers him, and that is terrifying. The player narrowly escapes PJ, enraging Mommy. Her polite mask breaks. She screams. She shakes. She hunts. The final chase, Mommy's death in the final sequence. Mommy Longlegs becomes a true monster, contorting through vents, dragging herself across walls, stretching violently toward the player. The chase ends at a gear machine. Mommy lunges. Her limbs are caught. She's dragged inward, screaming, snapping, tearing. Her body splits in half. But before the protagonist can breathe, a mechanical claw, spider-like and unnatural, descends from the ceiling and drags her upper body away. This is Experiment 1006, the true puppet master. Experiment 1006, the prototype A tape nearby confirms it. Experiment 1006 is not a toy. It is intelligent, cunning, violent. It builds tools, escapes cameras, kills employees. And it is evolving. Huggy Wuggy, Experiment 1170, is obedient. 1006 is something else entirely. Something watching. The train, Poppy's twist the protagonist, finally reaches the observation room and frees Poppy from the webbing. A note reveals the true purpose of the game station. Good. Children were evaluated not for fun, but for suitability, strength, obedience, agility. They weren't testing for entertainment. They were selecting future experiments. Boarding the train, the protagonist enters the code. Poppy steps forward, her voice soft, but cold. I can't let you leave. Her eyes glimmer. You're perfect. Too perfect to lose. The train derails, crashing violently into an abandoned daycare section as the protagonist fades into unconsciousness. Playtime Company's horrors aren't random. They're orchestrated. Experiment 1006 is alive. Poppy has her own agenda. The factory is breaking free. And in Chapter 3, we will finally learn what's been waiting on the other side of the Playcare doors. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the Poppy Playtime universe.